Hello and howdy there. A couple days ago, I saw Young Frankenstein on the big screen. I've never seen it on the big screen. It was showing a brand new digital restoration as part of a theater here in Los Angeles. They have a classics series, and for Halloween, on Halloween, they showed Young Frankenstein. So I'd seen Young Frankenstein several times. I mean, it's been a number of years, probably, maybe as much as, maybe 7 to 8 years since I've seen it. Maybe 6 years. I know I can remember watching it, in the not too far away past, but it's been a while. I've seen it several times. I've never seen it on the big screen. So, I mean, maybe under, maybe even under 10 times. So, maybe this was somewhere around, I don't know, 7th or 8th viewing. It's got to be under 10. I don't think I've seen Young Frankenstein more than 10 times. I think Young Frankenstein is one of the great all-time comedies. I think it is a part of the holy trinity of comedies created by Mel Brooks, the other two being The Producers and Blazing Saddles. I think the three of them together, as a broad general statement, I think most modern-day comedies can be traced back to one of those three films, if not all three films. I think they changed comedy permanently. I'd have to look at the other things going on around the same time, but really I don't think, and I'm pretty sure that they were all made back to back. So for Brooks to just have, 3 home runs back to back, it's something else. Young Frankenstein is it's basically a straight up adaptation of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, with a few exceptions. He is the grandson of the great Victor von Frankenstein, and so his property comes to him, his will comes to him, his private library comes to him, his grandson. So he leaves his life to pursue the mystery of what his grandfather was working on. So he then creates life. The life gets out of his control. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I'm sure you're familiar with the Frankenstein story, as it's incredibly old. This, of course, is a spoof. It's a satire. Maybe, the greatest spoof. It certainly was one of the first. It's just gorgeous. Not only is it hilarious, it's also beautiful. It's incredibly well shot. This uses the same set and same equipment used in the original, what was it, 1940... late 40s, early 50s Frankenstein film, the Boris Karloff film. So it looks fantastic. It has this, even though it was made in, oh gosh, I've suddenly forgotten the year, 64. Even though it was made in 64, it has this timeless quality. It looks like it's from, 34 or 44. It looks older, and certainly that has something to do with the sets and, the cameras used. And the lighting. Just everything is kind of a throwback. So it has this older than it is feel to it. It's absolutely hilarious. It's one of the funniest movies ever made. I'm going to give it, I felt, maybe 9. But, this is a beloved classic. So, I know it's a 10. But, watching it there on the big screen, it did, slow down a bit. There was particularly just one character, Frau Brucker, that really just comes into the story when she needs to be there. You know, she's not there for most of the adventure. She's just kind of there to fill out some like history and plot points, and she just appears to do that. So it's not like this perfectly told story, but it is absolutely hilarious. As comedies go, I think it's one of the best of all time. Stars Gene Wilder, Terry Garr, Madeline Kahn, Marty Feldman, Peter Boyle. I guess this is the big five. I can't remember who the chief of police is, or at least the town constable. God, so familiar. I think he was in Producers as well. And I'm not remembering his name. Anywho, just tremendous performances across the board. The acting is tremendous. The comedic performances outstanding. Everyone here has timing. Gene Wilder is one of our great, I just want to say like great actor, because I want to say great comedic actor, but you know, they always say that it's harder to make someone laugh. And just Gene Wilder, you know, makes anyone laugh. It's hard to make someone laugh, easy to make someone cry. And Gene Wilder, you know, is insane. And the energy that comes off of him is just unparalleled. I don't really think there's been a performer like him. I certainly wish that he did more work, but, you know, he's an older gentleman, and he's earned the right to retire, and, you know, he's already totally affected film as we know it. So, you know, after you affect an entire art form, what more do you need to do? So, retirement is fine. But Gene Wilder, and this is probably his best performance. He's pretty much in every scene. He's absolutely insane. He has to run the gamut. He has to do every emotion. But yet, while doing every emotion, even sorrow, there is an element of comedy there. It's just really amazing to watch, you know, and to think about how it's done. How does he do it? What is he thinking about? But just his insanity just leaps off the screen, and it's hypnotic, magnetic. You just can't get enough of him. So this is, you know, certainly a great performance of all time. One thing I noticed, and this is my very first viewing on the big screen, and it was a brand new restoration, so it's bright and beautiful. Almost, I think, maybe too bright and beautiful. You know, these new digital projection restorations, just simply put, they lack the warmth and the depth of film. There's just, you know, there's just something there. Yes, it was absolutely crystalline, pristine. It was just gorgeous, you know, all the lighting, but it just, you know, looked maybe a little too good, just like it's somehow become, you know, sterilized in a way. And you know, I'm just trying to accept this as the times change, but it definitely looked amazing, but in times I thought it looked a little too amazing. But with that clarity came a lot of background stuff, you know, and of course with the giant screen. There's a lot of things going on in the background that I never noticed before, that I thought was hilarious. Also, the Peter Boyle's performance for most of the film. He is the monster, the creature, and a bulk of his performance is silent. You know, it's just pantomime. And I never really appreciated his facial expressions until now. Just to see them enormous, and he's subtle anyway, and that makeup hides something, and so seeing it up on the big screen, it really really brought his performance out for me. Made him, you know, stand out more. Gene Hackman is also in this film for a little while. He has a cameo appearance. But really, I mean, all of the new laughs, and I did laugh a lot. I've always laughed a lot when I watch Young Frankenstein. Most of the new laughs came from Peter Boyle and his subtle but hilarious and dead-on facial pantomime. Madeline Kahn also not in the film as much as Terry Garr, who Terry Garr looked beautiful in this film, and she was very funny. Madeline Kahn, comedic icon, one of the great comedians of all time. She's just flat out hilarious here. I kind of think of her as Mel Brooks's muse. She's just amazing. She's beautiful. She's hilarious. I had almost forgotten the scene between her and Gene Wilder at the train station as they are saying goodbye to each other. And it just had me rolling. I was just dying. Just because I had almost kind of forgotten it and was, in a sense, kind of watching it for the first time again. And, nearly peed my pants. It was just hilarious. This was written by Gene Wilder and Mel Brooks. It was directed by Mel Brooks. Again, it's, I think, one of Mel Brooks's great films. If not, again, see, I put Producers and Blazing Saddles and Young Frankenstein all in the same echelon. They're brothers. Hold on just one second. Hello? Are you ready for me? Yes, I am. I'm ready. Oh, all right, on my way. Yes, I do. Okay. All right, coming. So it was great to see on the big screen. It, was hilarious. I'm so glad that I finally got to see it on the big screen. If you've somehow never seen Young Frankenstein, well, you've got to do that. There's just no excuse. Again, I think it's one of the all-time great films. Cloris Leachman also in the film. I'm just slowly remembering everything about it. I don't know what else to say other than, the film looked gorgeous, the music was great, everything, it was just a throwback. It was like, it's a love letter to film. It's a love letter to the monster genre, to the horror genre. It's a love letter to comedies. It's just a love letter to film. And it's so smart and it's so funny that it's become a classic. I think it's an undeniable classic. And, maybe the great spoof of all time. Yeah, I think that's all I gotta say. I gotta go, so now my mind is wandering. But yeah, so that's Young Frankenstein, and I gotta give it a 10. I would feel I could give it a 9, technically, but then I just kind of feel guilty. It's like, ugh, I'm giving Young Frankenstein a 9. So I've got to call it a 10. It's a classic. It just makes me happy, purely, deeply happy. So what else do you watch a movie for? All right, thank you very much.